That's a sweet potato that he's eating right now. He loves green beans, they're his absolute favorite. But he also likes squash and zucchini. And then at the end, we'll give him a banana. Look at him walking out, hanging down with his hands. Isn't that cool?
That is cool.
That is so crazy.
No, what's this one's name?
Flash. Flash is 5 years old. She's getting it, buddy.
I'm getting slow.
Flash came to us when he was 3 years old.
So we do the zucchini last.
Any of them, no. We'll do a banana last. You can mix it up as he's eating. When we got him, because he wasn't held or handled or really touched when we purchased him, that's why we don't hold him. Because he
wasn't raised that way.
Wasn't, brought up that way, and he automatically stays into his natural defense mode. And if he's not hanging on to something, it's scary, and he doesn't trust that our human bodies are something good to hang on to. So we just let him stay in his element. That's why we have a tree branch. He will, yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. He's a big eater here. In the wild, they eat mostly foliage, obviously, tree leaves, stuff like that. If they come across fruit, they'll eat it. They don't go out hunting it down too often. They don't like to move.
So if y'all don't have an encounter, do you just put the food out? And you just
we do. Well, we bring him out every morning and we hand feed him.
Oh, you do?
So that he's used to it.
Because you're
in the habit. Yeah, he is. Most of our animals are. We even have a bearded dragon that won't eat out of her bowl.
I think that's the fastest thing he does is eat.
Yes, it is. Very true. So he gets twice a day. We feed him in the morning. We make sure he comes out. We feed him by hand. But in the evenings, we can put his dish in there, unless he just wants to come out while we're prepping food.
Okay.
Then we let him come out and hang out while we're prepping his food. In the evenings, he gets his spinach and his fiber biscuits and his fruit. He loves apples, so we make sure he gets apples. He also likes pears and bananas.
Can you imagine just hanging upside down all day?
I know, right? That is an ability that they have. They spend most of their time upside down.
Do they drink water?
They can drink water, absolutely, but they don't need it.
Do y'all get tired of people asking these questions?
Nope. No, not at all. No. Every now and then we're like, we just need a recording. Click, and you click it. No, we don't mind it at all. So yeah, he can drink water. We obviously offer different water dishes at different places in his enclosure. But typically they're not water drinkers. They would rather get their food, and then they get their the water and moisture from their vegetation. Their metabolism is so slow that it can process all that very slowly. It can take up to 30 days to digest 1 leaf of spinach.
Oh wow. You wouldn't know
Hence is why he needs to stay warm. That's why it's warm in here. His enclosure stays about 80 degrees. We keep his humidity up, and that supplies moisture for him as well. If his body temperature gets too low, then it shuts his metabolism off, which would typically kill a sloth.
I should have brought you a Santa hat. We could have took Christmas pictures together.
You want a Santa hat, Flash?
My daughter was supposed to go to Panama. Well, so she, I guess, interviewed for a NBC game show.
Oh,
she was supposed to go
cool.
to Panama, and it's the only thing she wanted to go for. She was like, I just want to go. But she didn't get chosen. Maybe next year.
Aw.
But I haven't told her that I'm here. She's been mad.
Oh, yeah, she's going to be upset.
Yeah.
And where are you from?
I'm from South Alabama.
Okay.
Camden. We're close to, we're about 2 hours from the beach.
Oh, nice. I would be there all the time then if I was that close.
We
Although
are.
they say when you're there, you don't want the beach. I haven't, one of my aunts two of them actually live in Florida, and they're like, we don't care for the beach. We've been here all our lives. Most of my family's from Florida. The last 3 of us were born here in Tennessee.
What part of Florida?
Sarasota.
Okay. No, I don't get tired of the beach.
I don't think I would. I love my mountains, but I would love beach. I like heat. I like sun. So I'm good with that.
So do y'all ration out the same amount of food every day?
Pretty much. We do the portion control just so that he doesn't get overdone. But now there's days that he's really hungry, especially after he's used the restroom. So they typically will use the restroom once every 7 to 10 days. And it's always in the same spot. He has scoped out which tree he likes. And he always comes down, and it's usually early in the morning. They do moving and stuff at night because they feel safer at night. They don't like any noise because they can't see because of their eyes. You see how tiny his pupils are there. They're missing
So are
the
Flash
C
and
cell.
Coda in the same enclosure, or there's
No, there's a wall.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, Coda would drive Flash nuts, and Coda moves too much.
You kind of chill.
Now Flash does have a 3-banded armadillo that lives below him, but the armadillo is pretty chill itself, so it doesn't really bother him. He's not a threat. But now Coda could climb trees, and that would freak Flash out. Yeah, you would not share very well, would you, Flash? So they're unable to see shape or dimension or color with their eyes because they're missing the C cell. So therefore, by the time something gets close enough to him, it's too far gone.
Okay.
He can't get away fast enough. He doesn't really have much of a defense other than his bite. As you can see, his teeth are razor sharp, and that's because every time he opens and closes his mouth, it's sharpening his teeth. They rub up against each other.
It doesn't even look like he's using his teeth.
He does on the side, kind of.
Yeah.
Like, so we always cut his vegetables pretty thin. He does not like thick, chunky pieces of food. So I don't like to have to work too hard for it, do you, buddy?
Don't look like they work too hard for anything.
No, not too much.
I think I'm gonna be a sloth.
I know, right? You get to eat, and you just sleep and rest, and then you come back out
They
for
sleep
food.
like 20 hours a day?
They do sleep 85% of the day.
Wow.
He, obviously being in captivity, moves a lot more than the average sloth. Most of them in captivity do, just because they know their surroundings. And so in the summertime, we like to open his outside door, and he'll go back and forth from inside and out when it's nice and hot. But in the cold, nope, not so much. He likes to hang out. He'll stay pretty snuggled up. It's even harder to get him to come down when it starts turning colder weather, even though his room stays the same temperature at all times. I think he can sense when it gets the...
So what is this in there?
That's the 3-banded armadillo.
Oh.
That's Baku. He's really active today. He was climbing all in my shoes and down in my socks and everything when I was in there.
It's double for your trouble, honey.
Stephanie, do you want me to take pictures while you're interacting with him?
Yeah, you can.
So his sense of smell and his hearing is like tenfold compared because he is missing one of his senses as far as being able to see. So if they come down onto the ground, they're pretty slow movers, but they're fast swimmers. So if they needed to, they could get into a body of water and take off.
Oh, really? Okay, I was thinking that they didn't do well.
Oh, they don't. They're not fans of it. They don't leisurely swim. You know, like a barrel play in the
So
water.
that maybe they're.
But they can get through water faster than they can on land.
Oh wow. Okay, so I was thinking that they like saturate in the water and it becomes heavy for them or something.
Well, all 4 limbs move, so it's like a motorboat propeller there. They're gone, and they even have the ability to hold their breath for a very long time underwater.
Oh wow.
But their safest, and they feel the most safe, is up in the treetops, as high as they can get. They don't like to move out of their routine, but occasionally they have to. They're very isolated animals. They don't need another sloth around unless it's mating season.
Oh.
You say we don't care, we don't socialize.
So, was this one born
Here in Tennessee,
here?
yeah.
Okay, so do y'all make them here?
You can. We don't have one to be able to breed right now, but we're not going to breed with him because we don't. We like to have the fine details on where they came from, who they've been with, who they've been around. He's perfectly healthy.
It's not like any relationship.
Exactly. He's perfectly healthy.
What's your family history?
But genetic-wise, we don't have those details. But we do with our new baby. Zoe, we know her through and through, and the guy that we got her from has a perfect record on her. So maybe we'll get to breed Zoe.
Yeah, that would be good.
But we're not in the breeding business. It is not something that we want to pick up and take our business on.
Be a high standard with it.
So it's not what we're looking for. You're all done. Would you like your banana? Oh, would you like your banana?
This looks like a full meal here. You just give him the whole thing?
Yeah, he'll take over.
Oh.
You're smacking your food there, buddy.
Oh, wow.
He's gonna go up and just hang out. So he is, see how, to me, he's like an accordion. He has 21 sets of ribs. So he can maneuver, bend, twist. He can have his feet hanging like that and spin his body and face the other direction. His head can go up to 270 degrees.
And so is this your career as far as, are you in animal sciences?
I am not. I worked in a school cafeteria for 13 years. I fed humans. So it's just research. We research, and we learn as we go. There is a general research for all animals, obviously, but you learn your own animal. And just like Flash is picky, he will not eat a spinach leaf if you gave it to him today. He only eats them at night time.
In the evenings.
Yeah. So he's kind of picky. He don't care for carrots, so he won't take the carrot. He'd rather his sweet potatoes and stuff. So you learn the animals that you're with them the longest.
I'm sure they're all different.
Oh yeah, and we've had him since about 2 years, because I've been here almost 3.
That's awesome.
And we do have vet
When did
care.
y'all get, how old was?
He was 3 when we got him. And we got him.
So they already have a lot of learned behaviors by that point.
They typically do, yes. Just like our little Zoe is very used to being held, they trained her that way. They started her out right away using a towel in with mom, and so anytime they would take her away for 5 minutes, they would put her on that towel so it still smelled like mom. So they would start out in 5-minute increments sitting with her, and she learned off of a bell that whether it was that mom learned that the bell meant baby was gone for a minute, but then would come back. And so then they just lengthen those increments of time.
And so is her mom still here?
No. So we got Zoe when she was 4 months old. But she was used to being away, and then we kept her towel with her for a while. And then we just transitioned with other towels to keep her scent on those.
I'm not gonna lie, that seems like a lot of food.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah.
They can pack it down.
And he'll tell us if he's hungry. That's one thing of, he'll keep going or he'll keep reaching for it. Of course, vegetation doesn't hold a lot of calories. So that's why we don't fill him up on the fruits. And his fiber biscuits, he can have all the vegetables he'd like to have because he knows when he's full from it. Was that good stuff, big guy? Yeah, was that good?
So the neighbor was telling me that she did the encounter, and I was telling her, I said, that's a long way to drive from.
Yeah, I was curious why she was here from Australia too.
But her daughter's on TikTok.
Yeah, she came, I think she said last year, didn't she? With her daughter. And she's like, we went to Las Vegas, we went to New York, and then Southeast Tennessee.
They've been all over.
I'm like, how did Southeast Tennessee fall into New York and Vegas?
Well, I'll tell you why. The NFR.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. She said that they have a friend that
I was like, huh?
And I said, well, y'all going this weekend? Because I felt like that's probably why they're here too.
Yeah, that's what I asked her too.
Yeah,
She said that the kid's not riding this year.
My daughter is, she's a content creator. So anyway, she goes to NFR every year and that VIP thing. And I told her, I was like, you probably ran into my daughter because I think whoever she was watching, our friend was also in that finals.
That's cool.
And I said she was probably the one that probably had on like one string of clothing. And y'all were probably like, why do these people dress like this here? Oh, goodness. No. Is it time for his nap already?
Oh, I'm sure. It took me a while to get him to come down. He did not want to come out this
He
morning.
was tired. It was
You're going to skip
cold.
your breakfast, weren't you, buddy?
It was cold. Oh.
So he is known as the two-toed sloth. You can see that by his 2 toes on the front. All sloths have 3 toes in the back. But there is also a 3-toed sloth. And in the wild, they're not typically this pretty and blonde hair, I could claim that being a beautician that I'm good at doing his hair. It is not on my account by no means. He's just naturally pretty like that. But in the wild, they're typically more green and brown because ecosystems live on their hair, and they're designed that way. There's moths, there's bugs, there's algae and stuff that live on him because they don't move. Here, obviously, he's not exposed to that. But in the wild, they are. So much that nutrients from those bugs, from growing and reproducing and stuff, actually can absorb into his skin, so he gets nutrients that way as well.
Yeah, he is totally about to have nap time.
Oh yeah, it won't take him 2 seconds. He'll be back up in his hammock.
I've got a Zoom call after this, and I'm probably not going to have service, and I'm totally going to ditch out on the whole thing, and probably have nothing.
Well, if you have that time, I was gonna say you can come park in the parking lot here. We have Wi-Fi.
Yeah. I just learned about the Wi-Fi. I've been here for 2 weeks, and I just learned that
We were
What
gonna
am I
give
trying
you your
to say?
9 to
Camera
5.
condo.
We were gonna give
Wi-Fi. Great Wi-Fi. I was stepping outside like.
We gave you your 90 day trial.
Yeah. They're like, we have Wi-Fi. I'm like, since when?
Yeah, I called, I guess, back in October and was going to come through and work. I work State Farm claims from home. So
Oh goodness.
we've been working
Have you been
on
up in North?
catastrophes.
Yes, I was
Yeah.
say you've been up in North
I
Carolina.
have my North Carolina license. I work 30 states. So
Oh, wow.
we, but I work desk from home. So I basically assign it over to the field.
That's cool.
If I can close it and pay it, I do it. But so anyway, I took a little release from work, and we're just all trying to get the rest of our C's and everything. So it hadn't been that bad. And I was like, well, I'm gonna have to ditch out on this one Zoom call today. Make an excuse.
Now you just say you don't have service.
I know. I'm just gonna send them a picture.
Yeah, don't go hunt it down. Say sorry, I got caught up with the sloth.
Kind of virtual encounter.
You'd be on a Zoom call, wouldn't you, Flash?
Mhm.
You'd just sleep through the whole thing, wouldn't you, big guy?
Oh my gosh, he's so pretty. I was asking the Australians if they had a kangaroo encounter. They were like every day of our life.
Exactly. Yeah, he was telling us that he was up to like 4 that's hit his car already. Because we were talking about like in Australia it's kangaroo, here it's deer. You know, they're everywhere. It was pretty neat.
Oh.
You know, after we had that conversation, I hit a deer last night.
Oh, no
I
way.
did,
Oh,
yeah.
no.
I almost hit one because it was coming in right at the gate here at the farm the other night.
We just barely tapped
This
it at the
road
corner.
is covered in them.
We have, we're in the hunting capital of the state of Alabama. People come from everywhere there to hunt. We're 50 miles from a Walmart, so it's about the only industry we have. But I think I've probably had 4 deer claims myself. Did you tear your car up?
Front right.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Mercy.
Usually get
Oh,
a
I've
few of
had
those.
a couple deer do some damage, that's for sure.
My daughter hit 3 cows
Oh.
in a Honda Accord.
Now you can hit cattle on this road too.
Yeah.
They're
I was
always
following
in the
her
road.
home from the beach, and we were on a dark road. There were no lights. We never saw them. She never braked,
Oh,
Oh,
gosh.
my.
and she hit.
That's a miracle y'all are alive, because
I was
cows.
following her in a Jeep, and I
Yeah.
had just had back surgery. I guess 3 months prior, but I never even saw when she pulled over. I thought, why is she pulling over? Until I had to zigzag through the 3 dead ones.
Oh, goodness.
I'm telling you, right after that, we're like, if you want another Honda Accord, you can get another Honda Accord.
Yeah.
I mean, she never braked. She was going about 70
Mercy.
and hit 3 and killed all 3 of them. That's the impact that it had. One went under, one went through, and one went over. It was the.
Yeah, there's always cattle out here.
That's crazy.
You have to be cautious, which is still a lot of farmland.
I think she could hit a deer or 2 now and be ready for it today.
Something I haven't done is hit a cow.
Yeah, just don't swerve. Just brace.
It's a natural instinct, though, to want to dodge things whenever you get up close to them. Hey, Flash. Hey, you gonna come
And
downstairs?
so, what is this over here?
It's a Kawadamundi. He's cousins to the raccoon. Hi, big guy. Hi.
He's so sweet. And you said that he doesn't like to be like overly.
Right, overly stimulated. Just because, once again, it's natural instincts. Because to him, I think he learns voices and he can sense that we're not going to harm him. But then again, we're still just a predator, honestly. So if you get too aggressive with him or too loud, he just gets really scared and startled. Ain't that right, big guy? The most sensitive spot on one are the palms of his hands. Like, they do not like the pads of his hands messed with.
Y'all bathe them every day.
We do not. We do no bathing.
I was
That would
reading
be a
about
trick
the-
and a tie.
I was wondering about. I was reading about the larvae that they.
Yeah, so they can. But
Yeah.
like I said, he's not really exposed for any of that to be able to grow on him.
Mm-hmm.
We have a misting system that is in his encounter or
Yeah.
enclosure to help keep the moisture in there. But
Yeah.
he's not a fan of water.
Because they seem like they got some wiry.
Oh yeah,
Couldn't
Yeah.
watch that too much.
he's not a fan. Now little Zoe's had a couple baths, but we have carried him before to have to transport, and he does not do well. So we've learned that we just two people hold a stick and we let him climb on the stick, and he
yeah.
feels more comfortable that way. That way we can transport him. Because if you take him away from that, he's always reaching to hang on at least with one limb. He has a grip.
Is that how he sleeps?
Yep, pretty much. Sometimes he'll sit in the Y of a tree, and then his back will be in it, and he likes to put his nose between his legs and ball up. Or in his hammock the same way, but even in his hammock, he's hanging onto the edge of it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he never lets go of it with at least one hand. But yeah, upside down. Even the females give birth upside down. So they just
it's so
stay
thick
upside
in
down.
Panama with like so much greenery.
hmm
I was thinking y'all probably have a ton of greenery.
We have lots of trees.
Yeah.
We do the trees, but we do the fake. So I've painted the walls of everything
I know.
to
You
make
did
it
a good
look
job. You did a
natural.
beautiful job.
Thank you. And so at the top of his enclosure, when we open his door, you'll see I've painted big leaves on the ceiling to make it seem like treetops.
Oh.
So we try to make it as natural as
Mhm.
possible. We didn't want him to come and
Well,
just
he
live in
is
a box.
having no issues taking him right on out. Sleeping. So sweet.
You're just gonna hang out there, buddy.
He's tired.
They expend a lot of energy. So when he does climb, obviously upright, but immediately once he gets to a comfortable spot, he's back upside down. And they have the ability to do that because none of their organs or the blood flow is controlled to where it doesn't overwhelm him. If we stayed upside down too long, obviously we'd get a head rush. Or we could, our lungs would fill with fluid and stuff like that. But they have sticky pads that are naturally in there that help keep his organs and stuff in place so that it doesn't collapse.
That's neat.
And the two-toed sloths have extra vertebrae to be able to do their twisting and spinning and bending like an accordion.
And so the other ones can be more aggressive, right?
It's been said, but I don't know how they determine that really.
Right, yeah.
I have never seen a two-toed or a three-toed up close and personal because now if Donna bought one and brought it here, that's when I would get to see it. I've never gone out and done any experiences myself. We just have only purchased and gotten the two-toeds, but I've heard that before too.
Mm-hmm.
The
I was
three-toeds
reading
are a
all
little
about it
cuter,
when
I
she
think,
was-
with their flat face.
Oh, yeah.
They have a flatter face and little raccoon eyes, but
Yeah, they do look a little bit different. I was reading all about it when she was looking at going to Panama. And I was just looking at all the different animals that were there. The sloths didn't concern me, but the crocodiles did.
yeah, I would say so. I would say so. I'm not so worried about them either. I mean, obviously, you would have to get close enough. They are not going to come for you.
Right.
But now,
It looks like
the
most people
crocodiles
trying to
are
keep
way
them out of the
different.
road so they
Yeah.
can go on.
Yeah, you could probably, I can see a sloth wanting to get away as opposed to trying to come towards you, which most
Right.
animals do. There's not too many unless they feel threatened or really hungry. And him not being a meat eater, I
So
don't
he
think
doesn't get down.
he will not get on the ground and crawl
Because
around.
what you see, a lot of them
They're
are
crossing the road or crossing the
Mhm.
pasture, yeah. No, not typically. He has no need to. He will come down and he'll hang on that net some, and he'll sniff out the water, but then he comes to the bottom of this tree right here, and that's where he goes to the bathroom.
Yeah, I guess the ones in the wild are probably looking for food.
Yeah.
They have to move around.
Yeah.
They don't have a fresh garden.
Yeah, they don't have it just handed to them daily, twice a day. But obviously he would, I don't know that he would be able to be able to put in the wild. If we ever like, here, no, it couldn't because he was never raised that way.
Not very adaptive.
No, not at
Oh,
all.
sweet. So sweet.
Animals' natural instincts aren't going to be to starve to death, obviously, but if they're not familiar, like sloths get very stressed out if they've got to find a new spot, or something. Or, like if they come down to use the bathroom and they feel threatened, then It takes them a while to figure out where to find a new restroom spot because they have to make sure it's safe because that's where they're the most vulnerable is when they come down from the treetops.
Don't make up.
And he is pretty much full grown. He may get a little heavier from eating his goods. But as far as size, he's 5 now.
Okay. And y'all have had him since he was 3.
Mm-hmm. We hope to have him for at least 20 years. We'll see.
Oh, wow.